Hello everybody, MegaZardX here, back at it again to give you another very exciting video, and for today I'm going to be taking the time out to discuss my predictions of what games we will possibly be getting on the Nintendo Switch in the year of 2021. Now for this list, it's primarily only going to be focused on first-party games, as in terms of third-party games, you know, that's a large pool to be able to dive up into and try to predict who knows what from Capcom, Ubisoft, you know, etc. So I was like, you know what, let's just primarily focus on the Nintendo games from the big end themselves though. So I'm going to be focusing primarily on that for this video though. And in this, I'm going to be talking about, you know, what games I sort of kind of expect to predict and stuff, at least for the first chunk main part of this video. And then towards the later end of the video, don't go anywhere just yet, because I'll actually be going through my wish list for what I wanted in 2020 when I dropped that out late, you know, almost a year ago, the tail end of 2019 going into 2020. And I'll just be going through and discussing about, you know, what predictions I made, and then see how close was I, or did I actually manage to nail any kind of predictions that I made from that previous year though. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight up into my predictions for what I think is coming to the Nintendo Switch in the year of 2021. So for 2021, we do have some big major anniversaries such as Pokemon, The Legend of Zelda, even our boy Donkey Kong, and even Metroid. But however, I'm only going to primarily focus on two of them, as I think with the other two, they ain't going to really, you know, throw much of a bone to. We'd be lucky if we get a game with one of them though. But let's go ahead and start off with one of the big major ones, being Pokemon's 25th anniversary. As, you know, we basically got sort of kind of hinted towards this, towards the tail end of last year, where they, you know, announced at the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade that, you know what, they already went ahead and showed their logo for the 25th anniversary. And they were going to already go ahead and do it big. They already had some kind of collaborations with Katy Perry already, with singing some songs, which we hadn't seen in a long time, since like when they dropped the original Pokemon movies 1 through 3 way back in the day here in the US though. But honestly, I feel like they're going to have quite a bit of stuff in, you know, in line for their 25th anniversary. And I feel like all of it's going to start to take shape in the month of February. Keep your eyes out in the month of February. February, maybe we'll get another little chunk in May, but I think February, they always been known to drop some stuff though. So with the first thing I have on this list is, I feel like in the same avenue as what they did at the 20th anniversary, they dropped Red, Blue, and Yellow. So I'm thinking, you know what, maybe just maybe, they're going to drop Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, the original ones for Virtual Console, dropped out separately on the Nintendo eShop. Now, because with the original one with, you know, Red, Blue, and Yellow, they dropped that out on the Virtual Console, and I feel like with these ones, they're going to do the same, sort of kind of like how with Fire Emblem, the 30th anniversary, it's technically a Virtual Console game. It's not tied to, you know, Nintendo Switch Online with the NES games. It's just straight up as its own application. Obviously, with these being GBA games, it's going to have to do it anyway, though. But I expect, you know, there's their own standalone title like that. I feel like that might be a thing. We might be lucky if they also manage to port over the Gold, Silver, and Crystal ones as well, because they managed to do that with Red, Blue, Yellow, and Gold, Silver, and Crystal. So maybe we'll also get those as well, though. But I feel like we're going to get some type of Virtual Console representation, primarily with the Gen 3 games, the OG ones, here on the Nintendo eShop. Now, the next thing I feel like they're going to drop is the Detective Pikachu game, because we got revealed about this. Gosh, I want to say it was either a couple of years ago. It was like during the press conference for the Pokemon Company, which honestly we would have had one last year, but due to COVID and everything, I think that's the main reason why we didn't get one last year. So 2 years ago, they announced that Detective Pikachu is in the works for the Nintendo Switch, and I feel like it's about time. That might be their major spin-off game that they're going to drop for the Switch this year. So I feel like if there's gonna be any kind of spin-off game, it's gonna be that. It's gonna be here. It's already announced. We know it's in the works. It's only a matter of time before they drop it out though. And the other spin-off, if they were gonna do two, because we already got Mystery Dungeon last year, maybe, just maybe, I don't know how exactly it'll all work out, but maybe we might be able to get a new Pokemon Ranger game. Now, originally, some people might be thinking, don't you need a stylus? Like, you know, we had the DS, and the bottom screen was the touchscreen, and you made your loops with your stylus on that screen. However, I feel like with the Switch, if they were to do that, maybe this will be like primarily handheld focused, because I know they love their handhelds. It'd be a perfect thing for the Switch Lite. It will also work with the regular Switch as well, but obviously you have to sacrifice it and pull it out of the dock. But I feel like I just really want a new Pokemon Ranger game. Like, that was my thing back in the day during the DS era, was a Pokemon Ranger game. I don't know, if I feel like any other spin-off game was going to pop up, maybe, just maybe, they might be able to find a way to incorporate that. Maybe use the Joy-Cons for dock play. I don't know, work out the details, Pokemon Company, because I just really want another Pokemon Ranger game. Now, the next thing I feel like is, well, we already technically got this announced, was new Pokemon Snap, which we do know is coming out, within the, close to the beginning of the summer. We already have a confirmed release date on that. It was on my list originally. I did not manage to drop this video out before they went ahead and shown it though, but yes, we do know that Pokemon Snap is coming out this year as well. And then the big major holiday game I feel like they'll drop for the Pokemon 25th anniversary is none other than the Diamond and Pearl remakes. It's only a matter of time. Honestly, people wanted this game way beforehand, but knowing me and just knowing the Pokemon Company and just knowing their trends, I felt like we had to already get the next gen, being Gen 8 with Sword and Shield, we had to get those first, because there was no way after they did the Let's Go games that I felt like they were going to do a remake of another game, remake to remake back to back. I mean, that just didn't add up to me. So I feel like now that they went through and got the Gen 8 games done, and they technically did the DLC, which would have been the third installment in the series, before, DLC was such a thing for the Pokemon series. Now is the time where they can strike while the iron's hot for the Diamond and Pearl remakes. Now, the big controversy about everything is, would the Pokemon Company actually manage to mess this up? And I don't know. I mean, for the most part, I feel like if they follow the exact guidelines and put every single thing that was up in the original games, I feel like there shouldn't be that much controversy. It's going to literally be the same thing. Now, granted, there's some subjective things that you could say, such as like, well, maybe the 3D models won't look as good as, what you remember back in the day with the 2D sprites. I mean, that's very subjective, and everybody can have their own opinions, though. But in terms of the core concept of the game, the story elements, I feel like they just can't mess that up. And honestly, this is the perfect opportunity for them to be able to push online to another degree with the underground dungeon system, because that was a big thing back in the day with Diamond and Pearl, and along with Platinum, was that underground system. Imagine just running through those tunnels, competing against people online, doing the capture the base, digging out your fossils and stuff. They might be able to even add some little bit of extra stuff if they wanted to, though, but I feel like that's just a goldmine opportunity, though, and the Pokemon Company really can't slip up on that, though. So that's basically all of my predictions I have in terms of all Pokemon games I feel like might come with the Pokemon 25th anniversary, though. Stepping aside from anniversary games, looking at the Nintendo Switch Online, I feel like it's only a matter of time before we have the Nintendo 64 games come to the Switch. And I feel like, I honestly was thinking that it might have happened last year, though, but it's only a matter of time before they do it now, because we're missing like that next big major update for the Nintendo Switch Online. And gosh by golly, wouldn't it be fun to play with 4 players online on the Switch with GoldenEye? Man, that would just be a blast. I really enjoyed that game whenever I was playing it with friends when I was younger, though. But just imagine, so Dad, go ahead and put your Banjo-Kazooie on there. I mean, shoot, I'm surprised there wasn't that much of a collaboration with that and Microsoft with trying to get a Banjo game, because Banjo's out on Smash. Like, why in the world we don't have access to playing a Banjo game on the Switch? I mean that's just drop potential right there, though. But with those 2 games, my game will be Mario Kart 64, man. I mean, shoot. I mean, that's where my Mario Kart adventure started off, with that game, though. It'll just be insanely fun. So please, Nintendo, just please give it to me, please. And then the next thing I have to say is, I feel like a brand new WarioWare game is right around the corner. We know with Intelligent Systems, they're primarily known for making 3 major series for certain games. That being 1 being Fire Emblem, 2 being the WarioWare games, and then 3 being the Paper Mario games. We have our Fire Emblem game, and that dropped out within the year of 2019. However, with the Paper Mario games, we got that in 2020. So you notice the trend right here. We might be able to expect a new WarioWare game in the year of 2021. The last one we had was back on the 3DS, and that was sort of kind of on the bridge between us transitioning from the 3DS to the Nintendo Switch. So I imagine, just having like several different micro games within the WarioWare game would be extremely fun for you to be able to compete against your friends online, especially also for, co-op as well. Granted, once COVID kind of lifts up, we'd be able to actually play games again locally like that though. But honestly, I feel like it's only a matter of time before we get a WarioWare game, so that just makes perfect sense to me. Now, speaking of intelligent system games that they make, I also feel like, we had the DLC that concluded Fire Emblem Three Houses early within February of 2020 when they dropped out the Cinder Shadows DLC. I feel like it's a matter of time that we're about to maybe get a brand new game. Now, would it be the next game after Fire Emblem Three Houses, brand new? I highly doubt it. But what we could expect is a remake of an older game, and there's been been some rumors kind of spreading around like, could it be X or could it be Y or could it be Z? And I'm like, honestly, if I'm looking at the trend, we basically had the Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light. That was just recently localized. That's already has a remake on the DS. Then we look at Fire Emblem Gaiden, the original name in Japan, which was made into Fire Emblem Echo Shadows of Valentia on the 3DS. So we had remakes of the first and second games, even the third game as well, that also starred with Marth. That was also a remake on the DS, but it was never localized here though, but that came out to Japan. So what would ideally be next? The first, second, and third games were already remade. The fourth game would be none other than Fire Emblem Genealogy of a Holy War. I feel like that will be the very next remake in a similar avenue to Fire Emblem Echoes. I feel like, they'll basically start with that, with the ground up. I mean, there's probably going to be a brand new limited edition game for it. I'm going to have to go ahead and pre-order that one because I'm a big, massive Fire Emblem fan though. But it just only kind of makes sense. Like, you probably want to have, the brand new next gen, if you want to say so, for Fire Emblem. You want to, cook that in the oven a little bit longer. But why don't you, in the meantime, to keep, interest up, because we are just coming off the heels of the 30th anniversary of Fire Emblem, go ahead and just announce that the Fire Emblem Genealogy of a Holy War remake is coming out in the nearby distant future. Now, hopefully it manages to hit this year, but if not, I will think maybe next year, but I think there's a good solid chance it will drop out this year. Now, to touch back on some anniversaries for major series for Nintendo, Donkey Kong is experiencing its 40th anniversary this year. Now, do I expect it to have the major fanfare that was associated with like the Mario 35th anniversary? Absolutely not. Like in terms of anniversary, Nintendo likes, Mario, Legend of Zelda, and occasionally we get some Kirby stuff because, they always manage to pump out a Kirby game though. But with this one, I feel like it's only a matter of time that we should have a brand new Donkey Kong game in our hands. Big question is it 2D or is it 3D? Now, we can go back and look at our, old Donkey Kong 64, and I feel like as much as I would really love to see them attempt another 3D game, I just feel like it's not going to happen. So I feel like maybe this year we're going to get a brand new Donkey Kong game, 2D, that's the successor to Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which we had earlier within the Switch's life. And I feel like it's only a matter of time that we should have that. I don't know exactly which kind of approach they'll be able to take with this game though, but honestly, I just really want to see that. Now, anything else outside of that Donkey Kong game, we probably ain't gonna get much more for this. I mean, they ain't probably even gonna throw out a tweet for this anniversary though. I mean, it'll be nice though, but I don't even think they're even gonna go that far with it though. Now, the other anniversary we have this year is Metroid. Now, are we gonna get a Metroid game? Is it gonna be our Metroid Prime trilogy? Is it gonna be Metroid Prime 4? To that, I say no, and unfortunately, no. I would really like to have a Metroid game, but I just feel like they're gonna keep holding on to that Metroid Prime trilogy that's been rumored for so long. I feel like that's gonna come out in the same year that Metroid Prime 4 does. So I'm just like, no, I just feel like we ain't gonna get any Metroid games in terms of those. Now, the big question is, could we actually see a trailer for it? Now, we do got to remember that the Metroid game for Metroid Prime 4, it has, restarted development, and we got that news in early 2019 in the month of January. Now, if we were going to go ahead and start doing our math here, 2019 up till 2021, that would have been roughly about 2 years of the new development cycle for this game. So is it out of the realm of possibility of seeing a new trailer for it? I mean, not necessarily. I mean, it could happen at E3. What will be E3? We don't even know if E3 will actually happen this year. And I'm going to go ahead and call it and say E3 is probably going to happen, but it's probably going to be with limited audience. Like, I don't think it's going to be packed. It's probably literally going to be just the business people that are going to probably be going up in there though. I feel like that's how E3 is going to be approached this year. Small, limited crowd. Primarily, almost all the events are going to be digital, so you're just better off staying at home instead of having the general audience going to the actual convention though. But during that normal time of an E3, I feel like, there might be a chance, and that might be a decent chance, that they'll go ahead and drop this trailer out. Now, honestly, I don't expect there to be any kind of gameplay shown. It'll probably just be another cinematic trailer, just to kind of re-stir up hype, just to remind people that this game is still coming out. But that's all I expect from the Metroid game. And honestly, I don't even think we're going to get any other sort of kind of Metroid things, because like what I said with the Donkey Kong game, Mario, Zelda, a little bit of Kirby, main ones that get recognized with anniversaries though. So I feel like that's going to be it from in terms of the Metroid side of things though. Now, you know that this next game is inevitable, because we get one of these types of games every single year. That is none other than my boy Kirby. I feel like we're going to get a brand new Kirby game this year. Now, normally we always get 2D Kirby's, but I'm going to go out on a limb here. It's going to be be a little bit of a daredevil and just say, you know what, I'm just going out on this limb and I'm going to take a dive into this pool though. But I feel like we might get a new 3D Kirby game. Now, I remember seeing on some articles from some developers saying that, you know what, for Kirby, we feel like the next game is going to be very ambitious, so keep an eye out for that. I remember some kind of article that was mentioning something like that, and I was like, you know what, I was like, we've seen Kirby in a lot of different games, and honestly, for the Kirby series, it's been like a relatively easy series to kind of go through and play. I remember Kirby Star Allies. It was a little bit too easy for my own good though, but I feel like if they were able to actually dive into and do a 3D Kirby game, maybe, just maybe, you can introduce some new elements with that, new enemies, just new styles of play that normally isn't present within the 2D series for these games. And I feel like that can just bring a lot more new stuff to the table. So I'm just really hoping that, the next Kirby game that we do get will be a 3D one. Now also, as quickly and as easy as they're able to do it, I would not be surprised if they managed to actually drop out another 2D Kirby game as well with the 3D one. Maybe the 2D one drops out before the 3D one, and if they do happen to drop out a 3D one, I expect that maybe to be sometime around in the fall time. Give them a little bit more time to work with, and I just feel like that just be one of my solid predictions right there though. Can't ever go wrong with a Kirby game. Now, the last and major franchise that has a big anniversary this year will be none other than the Legend of Zelda series. It's going to be celebrating its 35th anniversary, and as much as in the same avenue as what happened with the Mario 35th anniversary, I expect them to go big, if not even bigger, within the Zelda 35th anniversary, because Mario anniversaries, they always happen to do stuff. They manage to always go big with those things. I mean, shoot, we even have the Mario theme park that's going to be opening up in Japan. Unfortunately, due to COVID, that's been, delaying and pushing that sucker back, more and more though. But with the Zelda anniversaries, I feel like they always go a little bit more crazier. We get limited edition things. We get a lot of different gold things, gold cartridges, gold controllers, the 64 controller, or shoot, even like that Wii controller that was golden during the Skyward Sword game. I mean, they always go a little bit more crazier, more, OSTs with the soundtracks and stuff. They go a little bit more crazier with their Zelda anniversaries though, and I expect nothing less with this 35th anniversary one. So right off the bat, I feel like, in terms of an online game in the same avenue as Mario 35, I feel like they're going to drop a Zelda 35 game. I feel like with this one, it's going to be like, it's sort of kind of battle royale. I'm going to feel like it's going to be like the last man standing. I feel like you're going to start off in the map, you'll be able to go left, right, up, and down. You're going to be able to defeat enemies across the board. The enemies that you defeat will just get randomly chunked to other players, and it'll be like basically the last man standing, sort of similar to the Mario 35 anniversary one. I feel like they're going to do something very similar to that. Now, there could be another possibility, or they can do two games. So it'll be that and / or this new game right here, which would be none other than the Legend of Zelda and the Four Swords adventure, which they managed to drop out on the 3DS back in the day, because I feel like that would be a perfect game to be able to run with some of your friends and be able to play that game online. Like, that's just perfectly suited towards online, just being able to go through dungeon to dungeon, fight enemies and bosses after waves, and just try to complete these puzzles to get through these dungeons. I feel like that's just be a perfect opportunity to be able to take that Legend of Zelda game and just pump a whole lot of online features with it and just have some really good fun times with your friends just going from dungeon to dungeon like that though. So I feel like, either that one or what would have been like the classic NES Legend of Zelda one, having sort of kind of like a battle royale mode. I feel like one of those, if not both, would be really good additions in terms of adding more value to the Nintendo Switch online service. So I feel like either one of those could definitely work. Now, moving away from what would possibly be the probably only smallest little bit of representation in terms of 2D games, I feel like it'll be a matter of time to where they're going to go ahead and drop the Skyward Sword HD remake. Now, we know that, you know, all the other previous games got remakes, such as Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. Even though those weren't HD, they were on the 3DS. Then we had our Wind Waker and Twilight Princess that were HD on the Wii U. I feel like the one and last only version is Skyward Sword, and what not be a better time to go ahead and do that during this 35th anniversary. So I feel like that would be a major game they're going to try to push, and with the release date on that, honestly, I feel like that'd be like a prime time, almost summer, between like summer and fall. If they're going to drop that game, it's going to be sometime around that time. Just, you know, if they were to make this announcement for the 35th anniversary roughly around in March, just go ahead and reveal we're doing this anniversary thing and go ahead and drop all these games and let them know when they're going to be released. I feel like late summer, early fall, that would probably be the perfect time to drop that game out though. Now, the other thing I feel like what they would possibly do as well is a 3D or sort of kind of similar avenue as like what they did with 3D All-Stars. They have like a 3D collection of 3D Legend of Zelda games. Now, originally, you know what, when you think about Legend of Zelda, you always think about the Triforce. What's in the Triforce? 3. And I'm thinking, well, I feel like they might pour over 3 games, just like how they did with the Mario 35th anniversary 3D All-Stars. They're going to pour over 3 games to be included within this 3D, sort of kind of like an All-Stars for Legend of Zelda. Now, the big question is, what 3 would you choose? Because you have Ocarina of Time, you have Majora's Mask, you have Wind Waker, and you have Twilight Princess. That's 4 games. Now, if you look at Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, those 2 are a couple of games that are still on the last little bit of a list in terms of Wii U games that are still on the Wii U that hadn't gotten ported over to the Switch. Since those already have HD versions of the games, and due to the, you know, the low numbers of Wii U's that sold, those would be perfect games to go ahead and pull off the Wii U, put them on the Switch, and they're going to sell with this collection very well. So I'm thinking, you know, those 2 are going to be solid picks. But if I had to choose between Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask being, you know, showcased off in here, I feel like they're probably going to go with the nostalgia factor. Go ahead and do Ocarina of Time. I feel like that's the one they're going to pick. Now, granted, it'll be a little bit unfortunate if they do that and they leave out Majora's Mask, though. But they did leave out you know, Super Mario Galaxy 2 within the Switch 3D All-Star collection, though. So I feel like maybe some games are going to get left out within this one. That's just my prediction, though. But I would love to actually see all 4 of these games make it within the 3D collection, though. But we'll see. We'll see about that. And then the very last thing I'm going to go ahead and predict on this list that I have is none other than Breath of the Wild 2. Now, some of y'all might be thinking, you know what, it's only a matter of time. Should we be getting this year, or will we be getting it next year? Honestly, I feel like due to real world events, that might be changing whether or not we actually get it this year, or could it be on the tail end of what could be 2022 in the same avenue as what happened with Super Mario 3D World? Because originally that was supposed to be released probably ideally within the year of 2020, but you know, due to COVID and stuff, they got pushed back into the month of February. I would not be surprised if they were trying to originally shoot to have Breath of the Wild 2 out by this holiday season. That's the main time they want to do it, but I would not be surprised if they push it back sometime in the spring months, probably like in the month of March, and do something similar to what happened with the original Breath of the Wild, since that came out in March. Now, I feel like we'll probably get a trailer this year. Hopefully we'll get the game launching within this anniversary year. However, I would not be surprised if it gets pushed back into the year of 2022 though. But that's honestly, those are all of my predictions. I feel like for the Nintendo first party games that will be coming out on the Switch, I feel like that's basically everything that I have in my head that I want to go ahead and predict that might have a solid chance of releasing in the year of 2021. Now let's go ahead and take a look back at some of the other predictions I made within my wish list for the year of 2020 and see how accurate was I on that. So the first thing I remember putting down on that list was that I wanted a Kingdom Hearts game of some kind. That I mainly wanted 1.5 plus 2.5 and 2.8, but I did say Kingdom Hearts something in that video. So I technically was right, because we did get Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memories that did come out on the Switch in the fall of 2020. So I was sort of kind of right, because I did say, you know, Kingdom Hearts something, but I wasn't purely right in terms of having a 1.5 plus 2.5 and a 2.8 dropping down on the Switch. So, you know, I give myself 50% credit on that. 50%. I might push it 60% though. No harm done right there though, but I was sort of kind of right with that one. Now, I did also mention that Nintendo 64 Online will come to the Switch. That did not happen. I did predict a brand new crazy Nintendo RP will come. I feel like, because of COVID, shoot, that was definitely not going to happen. And I also did predict a new Donkey Kong game would happen in some type of degree, though, but I guess Nintendo wasn't feeling up to dropping that out. Although we did get the Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3, along with the original Donkey Kong Country, dropped out for the SNES Online, though. So we did get some kind of Donkey Kong games. They just weren't necessarily new, though. Now, the one thing I will take major credit on was that I did predict a new Paper Mario game would be dropping on the Switch for 2020, and I did get that one right. That one was none other than Paper Mario and the Origami King. So you know what? Hey, I'm 1.5 for whatever amount I already gone ahead and listed right there, though. That's the one I can fully take credit in and say I actually nailed it and got that one right. So I was happy about making that one, though. Now, I also did predict that Diamond and Pearl Remix would probably happen that year, but that was obviously that was before they announced that we were getting DLC for it. So maybe I was 1 year early for that, though. But I feel like this year I'm gonna nail it this year, though. Then I also said there was gonna be a brand new 3D Mario game, mainly thinking of Odyssey 2 happening in 2020. However, with that, I will say we did get another 3D Mario game, and it was new and it's big, but it's coming in 2021 with 3D All-Stars with Bowser's Fury. So I guess I'm sort of kind of right. I mean, not necessarily big brand new game, not right in that avenue though, but we did get an announcement of a game that's coming out in 2021 though, that should have ideally been in 2020 though, so maybe I'll give myself 25% credit with that one though. Then I also said a new Metro game will come, a new Mario Kart game in terms of Nintendo Kart or F-Zero, and then I also said a new Kid Icarus game will come. All of those did not happen, and that's why I'm sort of kind of staying away from Metroid this year. I'm not even going to say nothing about that. With people saying Mario Kart, I feel like, we ain't going to get a new Mario Kart game until whatever comes after the Switch, unless it's Nintendo Kart. That could change everything up. Maybe if we're lucky with F-Zero, maybe not this upcoming year though. Kid Icarus, shoot, it might be a whole nother 25 years after we got Kid Icarus Uprising before that game happens though. But that's pretty much all that I had on my list in terms of my old 2020 wish list that I was trying to, hope that I would get in the year of 2020 though. So major credits to Paper Mario, that's the one I called. Kingdom Hearts, I did technically call some type of a game though, and sort of kind of with the Mario 3D All-Star, that's at the very bottom, but I was thinking a brand new one's gonna come out though, but hey, I guess partial credits because we are getting Bowser's Fury later on this year though. So that basically about does it in terms of my 2021 predictions and my little bit of a recap for 2020. But y'all gotta let me know down in the comment section down below, what all are you thinking that might happen in terms of, Nintendo release games that might be able to drop out on the Switch in the year 2021. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I am curious to know what your thoughts are, and I'll keep an eye out on all of those though. So that basically does it in terms of this video though. So if you really like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all gaming related topics I feel like discussing, y'all. So remember y'all, until that video I make next, see y'all.